Hi everybody, Mark here at Marathon Press, and I just want to show you a quick tip on how easy it is to build a wall portrait combo order in ROES. And I want to thank Eric John Photography for loaning me the images to use in these examples. Their photography is so beautiful and it has such variety, and that's important. In fact, one of the things I wanted to mention too is you do family photography or senior photography or anything else, it's important to keep in mind the final images that you plan to sell, especially if you're doing odd combination of shapes like say a panoramic in a 12 by 24 or even a 12 by 36. If you don't photograph for that with that in mind, it's obviously impossible to have your salesperson be able to put an image into that. So keep that in mind. You want variety and you want to have breakdowns of the different family members. Like if you have just mom and dad and the kids, then you want to have just the kids alone, and dad and the kids, mom and the kids. If there's pets involved, well, you get the idea. Okay, so what I want to do, first thing first, I want to come up, I'm going to find my premium gallery wraps. That's what I'm going to use for my particular order. Now you can do this with Bella art prints, whatever you'd like to do. But in my case, I love the gallery wrap, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to have 4 or 5 different images in the example that I'm going to create here. So let's start with, excuse me, I'm going to do, let's start with a 24 by 30. So I'm going to find that. I'm just going to go ahead and drag it on over here. And then let's do a 20 by 24 in with this order. And then let's do, let's say a 16 by 24. Let's do that. Bring that over here. And then I'm going to have a couple of 11 by 14s because I know I'm going to have the kids individually in here. So I'm going to bring these, drag these each over. Now you'll see here too, you can take control of the screen by sliding that zoom. If you can't find that, just use this little stacker tool and you'll see that icon come up. Now I know I'm going to have a lot of verticals in this, so these are horizontal at the moment. Now I can move these just by clicking on that little blue cross, if you will. In this particular one, I'm going to move it vertical. Same thing with this, it's going to be a vertical, so I'm going to switch that. And I'm going to, I know my 11 by 14s are going to end up being down on the lower right for the idea that I've got in mind here in my layout. Now you don't have to have these laid out exactly how you want, but it kind of helps just because, again, as you start to visualize how this is going to go on somebody's wall, or there's another option that you can do. And I'm going to change my 16 by 24 to a vertical. I'm going to move that up here. My 24 by 30 is going to essentially be my biggest print. So I know that I want that to kind of be in there. My 20 by 24 is going to be in the lower left, and I'll move my 11 by 14 so they're kind of down in here. Now let's say that I wanted to make this a 16 by 20 in here, and I blew that. So let's go ahead and click that red arrow. It'll ask me if I want to remove it. I'm going to go ahead and find the 16 by 20, and I can again just click and drag on that. Now it's important that you don't just click on it because all these will go away. So let's go with a 16 by 20 there. That's horizontal. My 11 by 14 might fit right in here. And again, I'm just kind of going with a visual thing here on how I think it's going to look good. Now the only thing that would change that is if I know that I want to create a look where I've got one image spanning all of these. So if I knew I wanted to do that, first thing I do is I know I'd move these up close and adjust these how that I think I would want them to hang on the wall. And if, let's say, that was my combo, then I would use span image. So it's that little button that I click there. And if I just take, let's say, this one image here, drag it on up, and you're going to get this message. At times I've got a smaller image, so it's no big deal. But you see what I mean? Now I've got the ability to use that one image there, and I can still move my image around, and I can still click on my little slider here, make it bigger or smaller. So those are the times where you're going to need to maybe kind of pay attention to where faces are in the different breaks. But I'm just going to delete that. I'm going to go to individual, and I know now I'm just going to fill each one of these individually with however I want them. So I'm going to just kind of move my 11 by 14s how I think I would display this on their wall. And again, it's just a visual idea here. So let's start with a key image, and I'm just going to kind of take a quick look through here. And I really like this image here, so I'm going to drag that up into here. And again, that's okay. And I have control here. I can still zoom in, rotate, tilt, whatever, but I really like it pretty much like that. I know down in here in my 11 by 14s, I'm going to want the little girls individually, so I'm going to go ahead and put her in here. And again, I could control the zoom and crop if I wanted, but I like it just the way it is. And I'm going to find the other one of the other little girl, and let's go with, whoops, move my screen around here. Let's go with this one. There we go. And I like that, so let's pick another one of just the kids together. I really like this one here. Let's put it in here. And I'm going to add that, and I might position it just a little bit like that, so I really think that's beautiful. Let's find one more mom and dad, and I really like this image here because it's just so natural, but there's so many good images to choose from. And the nice thing is if you decide, hey, I don't want to use that one, you can just, again, select a new one and drag it in there. So that's my combination. I really like that. So let's go ahead and add that to the order. And I can view my cart. And it's going to show all my combinations here. I've got my price. I can go in and I can edit. Now I'm going to go back in here. And the reason I'm doing that is under options here, I've got the option of either letting the image itself wrap around the edges, and it's going to show you where those bleed lines are, so you can kind of zoom in and take a look at these. Or I can decide, you know what, I don't want to lose any part of the image, so I'm going to make that all black on the border or all white on the border, however I want to do it. So that's going to give me the look that I want on my edges. So don't worry about how that shows, but I do want to bring that back up in there. Now I can show my white border. And if I wanted that black, I would just click on that and I would drag my image back up in there. And again, it shows me now how my image looks with the black border. So it kind of is just a preference thing as to, do you want those edges to be solid and not lose any of the crop, or do you want to go ahead and let that kind of bleed around? It's just a personal preference. So it's up to you. But look for that under that option there. So now I've got the changes that I want. I'm going to hit save. And it just, again, shows me all the different sizes that I've got ordered, my applied options, and my price, my quantity, and I am ready to go. So I'm going to fill in all the other things that I normally do when I'm getting ready to order through Marathon. So I can complete my order and away I go. So that's the tip of the day. You can do that with whether it be Bella prints or your gallery art prints, whatever you want to do, but that's a quick way to kind of get an idea of how to build your combos. Thanks for listening.